Guys retiring from international rugby. There's been kind of a flurry of them, at least a couple of Scots in the last week or so. So I figure we'll look back. I've picked 10 teams and pick one guy from each team who has retired from international rugby. I'll just go through a few points about their career, and I guess pay tribute to them in kind of a small way. Although for the majority of these guys, they are still going to be playing for their clubs, not all of them. And it's definitely not an exhaustive list of all the guys that retired. I mean, New Zealand's had a bunch go. Australia's had a few go. Fiji's had more than one go. So Italy likewise. So yeah, it's just a few select players that I have decided to mention. So I'll start with South Africa. They won the World Cup. And the guy I'm mentioning here is Tendai Mtawarira, also known as the Beast. Pretty good way to go out for him on a winning note as the world champions. I mean, he did go and play for the Barbars, but in terms of his Test career, goes out as a World Cup winner, famous for that Beast chant whenever he got the ball. So I think his impact on the game cannot be kind of minimised. He has just been a genuine classy player for many years, and kind of when it looked like he was on the way down and that he was perhaps not deserving of a spot on the team, he just surged through again and kind of had a bit of a renaissance in his career in the last kind of year or so. So yeah, hopefully he does well. He's off to America, 34 years old, third most capped Springbok, off to play in America for a bit, so good luck to him in the future. From France, kind of a less welcome send-off for Sebastian Vaha Mahina. He finished his career on that red card. Now, he's still young enough to come out of retirement, but he has officially retired. He did that elbow on, I think it was Wainwright, in that game against Wales in the quarterfinal. And, yeah, that's it. He has decided to retire. 28 years old, 46 caps for France. I think that'd be a pity if he doesn't come back. He's still good enough to keep playing for France for sure. He's a big guy, got some talent. As long as he keeps his elbows kind of to himself, then I think that'd be a real disappointment if his career ended on that note. So we'll see if a coach in the future can convince him to come back and play, but yeah, 28. It's a pity for him. New Zealand, there's a bunch to choose from. I had to go for the captain, Kieran Read, 127 caps. Won 2 World Cups in 2011 and 2015. There's been news out today in New Zealand, I think, that he had some procedure done. He was on some platelet treatment that even Graham Henry didn't know about in terms of trying to get him to recover because he injured himself right before the 2011 World Cup, and the team doctor said, don't tell Graham Henry because if you tell him, he'll tell the media and then it'll be all over the shop. So, that was kind of an interesting little tip. But I think that had come from his autobiography, so it's kind of a thing to try and sell his autobiography for Christmas. But there you go. 127 caps, 2 Rugby World Cup wins. Like I said, 34 years old. He's off to play Japan. Finished, I guess, not on a great note, but on a decent note with that third place game against Wales being a decent win for the All Blacks, so bronze medalists. They would have preferred a World Cup, and he would have liked to lift the Webb Ellis Trophy, but not to be. David Pocock is my man for Australia. 83 caps, and you look at that and you think, someone like Kieran Read got 127. I mean, he is a bit younger, 31 years old, but geez, that guy's just had so many injuries, like knee reconstructions. Remember, he had that first one, and then, within a few weeks of coming back from his first knee reconstruction, he did the other knee. That guy, you do worry a little bit for him once he retires. You hear about Sam Warburton saying how he takes a while to get going in the morning because his body's just so stiff and sore. You feel like David Pocock's probably going to live with a pretty creaky body for the rest of his life just because he does put his body on the line, and he's neck, knees, all kinds of trouble. So, but he still made a World Cup final. He was part-time captain, I guess, when Hooper wasn't available. So, at times, the best player in the world, I reckon. Just at the breakdown, that guy was phenomenal and seems like an all-round good bloke. So, he's off to Japan. Hopefully, he can make a little bit of coin. And then there's been talk about him potentially getting into politics, or he's been doing good work in Zimbabwe, where he's originally from, in terms of the environment and whatnot. So, yeah, pity to see him go, but again, he's still playing, so if you watch some top league, you might see him in action. Scotland, and kind of the guy who forced me to do this video. I don't want to say forced, but he was the inspiration to do the video, because I was like, oh man, Grieg Laidlaw, he has just been around for such a long time. I have to do a video for that guy. But I was like, oh, if I do a video for him, I should be doing a video for all these other guys. So it's kind of a collective effort, but spurred on by his latest announcement, because he didn't do it at the World Cup. He's decided to do it now. 35 years old, Grieg Laidlaw, Scotland international. 76 caps, Scotland's second highest ever point scorer. Former captain, British and Irish Lion. He's going to keep playing for Clermont in France, I guess, retiring from international rugby to try and prolong his club career. Hopefully he can make a bit of coin as well. He always seemed like a real tough customer. He didn't muck around. Like in interviews, he was a relatively straight shooter, which I always kind of appreciated. So, yeah, pity to see him go. For Japan, Luke Thompson, so originally a New Zealander, 38 years old, so I think he's the oldest guy on this list. 71 caps for Japan. He moved to Japan in 2004. 2004. Think about what you were doing in 2004. I was still a university student, not some married dude with kids. So that was a long ass time ago. 2004. He's retiring, I believe, from rugby overall. So after the World Cup, he's gone back to play for his Japanese club side, and then he's calling it quits. They had a bit of a farewell for him for his last home game that I read in the media. So, yeah, I think he's going to be done at 38. Kind of can't blame him. I did give Japan's locks a wee bit of grief during the World Cup, and then they beat Ireland, and I thought, okay, those guys are better than I thought. So, yeah, credit to him. Classy guy and a good... seems like a bit of a gentleman from what I saw of his interviews as well. Argentina, it's one Manuel Leguizamon. That guy again, he seems like he's been around for ages. Real kind of hard-hitting, tackling loose forward. 36 years old, 87 caps. He was part of that team that got third place at the 2007 Rugby World Cup, so that Argentina team that was a real tough nut to crack. He is off to play for, I think, Seattle in the Major League Rugby in the States. So he's not the only guy, alongside the Beast, going to Major League Rugby. So good move for him. There's a little bit of talk about how he might retire or he might go somewhere else, but I think Major League Rugby seems like a good option for him. So, yeah, I think he's 36. He's not the player that he has been in recent times. Like, he's been surpassed by some of his younger counterparts, but still overall that guy for Argentinian rugby has been a great contributor, so it's a pity to see him go as well. For Italy, it has to be the man Sergio Parisse, 36 years old, 142 tests. That is a ton of tests, especially when you consider at World Cup time they don't ever get out of the pool, so limited to at least a handful fewer games each time Italy went to a World Cup. 5 Rugby World Cups, which is just phenomenal. 142 tests, I think just 35 wins. That's commitment to keep playing for your country when you're on the wrong side of the ledger the majority of the time. Again, debuted for Italy in 2002. I think I was just starting university in 2002. It is sad for him to go out on that cancelled game. They were supposed to play the All Blacks, but not to be. The game was cancelled due to the hurricane. He is still going to play in Toulon. I think his contract is a year, 2019 to 2020, so I'm not sure what will happen once the top 14 season in 2020 comes to a close. Fiji, Vereniki Goneva, 36 years old. That guy's still got some gas about him. I've always enjoyed watching him play. I think former Sevens man from memory. Well, not surprising, I guess, being a Fijian speedster. But 3 Rugby World Cups, 59 tests, 22 tries. Still plays in the Premiership and still looks class. He's coming off the bench a wee bit, but again, he's still got the gas. So kind of that evergreen player is Goneva. I think his last game might have been the game against Uruguay, which is a bit disappointing for him. And last, Rory Best, legendary player for Ireland, 37 years old, 124 caps for Ireland and the British and Irish Lions. Kind of a pity that he went out on another quarterfinal loss for Ireland, but then he got to have a bit of a run with the Barbars as well, which was a bit of fun, and he got to kick a conversion and whatnot, which was fantastic stuff to see. Apparently he had offers to continue his career on with maybe some French clubs, or I think one of the Premiership clubs was after him, but he's decided to put his family first. So one club man, which is awesome stuff to see for him. So he's legit retiring, not like a lot of these other guys who are continuing on to play. So yeah, I mean, Grand Slam winner, just a really well-liked guy, well-respected. So 37, earned himself a break for sure. But yeah, definitely other guys who have retired. It's a pity to see these guys go, but that's just kind of the nature of the game, especially after the Rugby World Cup. You are going to see a bunch of guys retire. All the best to these guys. And I think they've made all our lives that bit more enjoyable with some of their plays throughout the years. And I guess all we look forward to, apart from these guys potentially getting onto the commentary scene, is seeing some of the younger guys come through and step up to replace them as they go, which is always the way of things. But yeah, you guys let me know your thoughts on these guys' careers, kind of special moments that you can remember. As I said, it's not always the perfect ending when you retire. It's very, very seldom that you get to go out the way you want, but a couple of the guys here probably got to do it in a decent way. And yeah, other guys that were retired, I mean, off the top of my head, there's guys like, Ryan Crowley's not going to play for the All Blacks anymore. I think Will Guinea is not going to play for the Wallabies, and there are more. So, yeah, you guys let me know your thoughts, and I'll talk to you soon. See you later.